Everything, dead or alive, tell us about our Creator. Everything. That tree you see, your pet, a pencil, a planet, anything you can think of. And they don't only tell us about Him, they prove His existence. Okay, now, that's a bold claim, isn't it? It sounds so assertive, but it's actually not. Not if you know how to look at them. In this series, we will learn how to look at the universe with a really easy method, inshallah. We will read the universe like we read a book, and we will prove the existence of Allah in 33 different ways. This is just one of them. Alright, if we look, we see that all things, and especially living creatures, have numerous different needs and numerous different wants. Don't just think about food and water when I say needs. I have infinite needs just to be able to sit here and talk to you. I need all of my cells to work, planets to keep going in their routes, oxygen cycle to work perfectly, water cycle to work perfectly, food chain to work perfectly. Even if a species like bees were to extinct, we wouldn't survive for so long, right? Infinite needs. Think about it, what would happen if you didn't have anyone to talk to just for a week? You would go crazy. So all things have infinitely many needs and infinitely many wants. And those wants and needs are provided for them at the appropriate time in unexpected ways from places they do not know and their hands cannot reach. Succor comes to them. You know those values in blood tests? Very sensitive values. Like, there's a substance called creatinine in your blood. It has to stay between 0.2 milligrams to 1.2 milligrams. If it's not between those values, you'll probably have a problem, a disease or like a health issue. Another substance called albumin has to stay between 3.4 and 5.1 milligrams. Again, those values are very sensitive. And what happens for most of the cases? They stay between those values as they should. There are so many substances in our blood that we don't even know of. We have so many needs that we don't even know most of them. However, our needs are being taken care of somehow. Creatures are a bunch of needy beings, but the power of these needy beings is insufficient for even the smallest of those endless things they wish for. They cannot meet their needs. We just cannot. We, the smartest creatures on this world, cannot take care of our needs. Isn't it kind of ironic? I don't know if any of you are, but I am not able to control my cells. I'm not able to control any planets. I'm not able to keep the oxygen cycle going. I cannot control the values in my blood. You see how weak I am? How weak we actually are? If we aren't the one taking care of those needs, who is? Right? This is the question we will ask today. Who? Do my cells work by themselves? I am surely not the one controlling them. So who is? Are they their own ruler? Do they, communicate with each other? It doesn't make any sense. Not just because they can't communicate, that's a huge problem. But not even one of the biggest problems with this logic. For something to do work, it needs to have a couple of characteristics. For example, it needs to have enough knowledge. Can you ride a bike if you don't know how to? No, you can't even ride a bike. Okay, what else? You need to have enough power. You know how to ride a bike, but you're paralyzed. Can you? No. Okay, what else? You need to be able to choose. You know how to ride a bike. You have enough power, but you're a prisoner. Can you? No. And most importantly, you need to have life. These are just some basic characteristics you need to have to do something as easy as riding a bike. Now let's look at a cell. How many of those does a cell have? Does it have its own will? If it does, why does it work in such an amazing way? Why does it choose to work? Or is it a prisoner? Then who controls it? Another cell? Does it have enough power? Does it have knowledge? Can it think by itself? No. Okay, let's make it even harder now. Your cells are made up of what? Atoms. Lifeless, mindless, powerless, helpless atoms. But they do a work that requires infinite power, infinite knowledge, infinite will. Did you know that cells are like cities? Yeah. So how? How can lifeless, powerless, mindless, helpless, simple atoms work together so perfectly and form a cell, form an organ, form an organism? There are only two ways to answer this. First way, you're gonna say that those simple atoms have infinite knowledge, infinite power. You're gonna add that they have their own will. And also, since they're worthless without life, you're gonna say that they have life. And you will basically throw your mind in a trash can. You know, switch off your brain for a second there. Or you will accept that there has to be someone behind the curtains with infinite knowledge, infinite power, free will, life, mercy, etc. Let's keep reading. Consider yourself of how many things are you in need that your hands cannot reach, like your external and inner senses and their needs. Compare all other living creatures with yourself. Now I want you to imagine everything you need. I know you won't be able to, but just try. Now add everything every other creature needs. See, you just say singly they testify to the necessary existence and point to his unity. So in their totality, they show to the reason and necessarily existent one behind the veil of the unseen, a single one of unity among titles of most generous, all compassionate, nurturer and disposer. Also, another thing we can say is, you know how you give someone money and feel so merciful, like the best person in the world? Now imagine someone who takes care of everyone from a small ant to a human. Subhanallah. From fireflies to whales, from eagles to crocodiles, from bacteria to mushrooms. Now here's another very interesting question. We have said that there has to be someone who is all-powerful, all-wise, and we've also said that that someone needs to have mercy if he's the one taking care of all of those needs. And what's our greatest need? Eternity. To live eternally. That's the whole reason why people are working in laboratories to make medicines that will make you live a little bit longer. People are spending billions of dollars on that industry. Alchemists, they spent their life to find a formula to live eternally. But this world doesn't have that. Now here's the question. Would that all-merciful one give life to his creation, take care of every small need of them, but then not take care of their greatest need and demolish them forever? Wipe them off, would he? Of course not. Because it would contradict with his mercy if he takes care of every small need of us, which he does, and if he is able to take care of all of our needs, which he is, then surely he will take care of that need too. He will create the afterlife because his infinite mercy necessitates that. Because that's what the All-Merciful One does. أستعوذ بالله الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو ربهم وأنهم إليه راجعون. صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.